Afghanistan has been at war for more than 4 decades. First, the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, then the United States. As a result, the country is rigged with hundreds of landmines, explosive devices that are hidden below the ground. Afghanistan does have a dedicated agency to clear mines, but since the Taliban's takeover last year, foreign funding has dried up. The biggest casualty of all of this are the children of Afghanistan. They make up to 80% of all landmine victims.
The march up the hill is a tense one. With metal detectors in hand, these workers are embarking on a risky mission to demine Afghanistan's old battlefields. Today they are here in Kafazkale, a small village east of Kabul. Back in the 1980s, it was a Soviet military outpost. They rigged the place with deadly landmines. And now, decades later, these workers will remove them. One by one, they walk in a straight line, slow and tentative. They peer intently at the ground, hoping to spot the buried explosives. They are in luck. One worker carefully places a flag on a barely visible device nestled in the dirt. It's a Soviet anti-personnel mine. The next step is connecting the device to the makeshift control center. And after that, a controlled explosion.
The issue of landmines and unexploded ordinances is a very, very big problem in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is actually one of the most contaminated countries on earth.
4 decades of war have led to this, a land crawling with hidden explosives. Afghanistan does have a special agency dedicated to demining, the Directorate of Mine Action Coordination. They have the expertise but not the money. Since the Taliban's takeover, foreign funding has dried up. Demining agencies have lost $3 million. The result? Layoffs. Kafazkale is the perfect example. Hundreds of mines have been detonated in this area, and yet 40,000 square miles are untouched. There could be mines lurking below.
According to the national institution, DMAC, on demining, above 100 casualties per month in Afghanistan due to the landmines.
Most of these victims are children, almost 80%. Blame their curiosity or their job collecting scrap metal. Since August last year, nearly 300 children have been killed or maimed by landmines. Here at the Red Cross Hospital, you can see the toll.
I was at Kandahar province 8 years ago. I stepped on a landmine at a roadside and eventually I lost both my legs.
I was at the border between Iran and Afghanistan. I was not familiar with landmines and I couldn't recognize them, so I accidentally stepped on one. The landmine exploded and I lost one of my legs.
A few miles away, a solution is being developed. Awareness classes. Children pore over cartoons explaining what a mine is, where they are likely to be found, and what they should do if they spot one. There goes our romanticism of war. These children should be learning about boring stuff like the Pythagoras theorem or the Big Bang theory. Instead, they are being taught to identify mines.
So an integral part of our work on humanitarian demining is actually educating adults, children, on the risks and how to avoid them. How can they recognize the ordinances and unexploded ordinances and landmines? How are they going to react if they find things at the surface that they don't recognize?
Sums up Afghanistan's sorry state. The Taliban's conquest may have ended the war, but the new regime cannot heal old wounds. They cannot exorcise the ghosts of Afghanistan's wars. South Asia Bureau, WION World is One.